Welcome to PACE Moments. Here, our experts and guests discuss many aspects of corporate finance and analytical models that will help make better, more informed business decisions possible in your organization.
I'm Doug Hicks, one of the directors of PACE. In this edition of PACE Moments, I'm going to talk about the spectrum of economic radiation. Visible light is electromagnetic radiation that we as humans can detect with our naked eyes. When we observe the heavens on a clear night, either with or without the aid of a telescope, we are detecting radiation in the visible spectrum, that portion of the electromagnetic radiation emitted from celestial objects that happens to fall within the range our eyes can detect. We're not observing everything that is out there, only those things emitting a certain type of radiation. This visible light covers only a small percentage of the existing electromagnetic radiation. I've seen estimates as small as 0.0035% and as high as 2.5%. So we're only seeing a small portion of what exists and what it is doing. Since the existence of radiation outside of the visible spectrum was discovered in 1800, scientists have developed tools for detecting and measuring the radiation in many other ranges of the electromagnetic spectrum. Aided by these tools, humans can now see and measure things that are invisible to the naked eye, from low-frequency, low-energy radio waves to high-frequency, high-energy gamma waves. The ability to see that which was once invisible has been a prime mover behind the exponential growth in our understanding of the universe, as well as practical inventions humankind has found quite useful, like radio, television, microwaves, lasers, night vision goggles, and X-rays. Financial accounting is the decision maker's visible light. Through the eye of financial accounting, a decision maker can detect and measure only the economic radiation that happens to fall within financial accounting's visible range. Financial accounting does not detect and measure all of the economic radiation lurking in the universe, only the radiation within its limited range. When decision makers limit themselves to economic information as defined and measured by financial accounting, their level of effectiveness is comparable to that of a 21st century astronomer who limits himself or herself to information that can be detected through visual celestial observations. Predictive, causality-based operating and economic cost models, like those promoted by the Profitability analytics framework, provide visibility along with a much wider range of economic radiation that permeates the universe. Those models not only provide cost information at a much greater level of granularity, their cost measurements are not constrained by the rules of GAAP or IFRS. They link costs with the activities that cause them, and they effectively measure the cost impact of any decision under consideration. Cost information is not just required to value inventory and measure cost of goods sold. Other measures will be required depending on the decision or action being contemplated by management. Different information will be needed to measure the impact of an operating improvement, determine product and customer profitability, estimate the cost of a product or service for use in pricing decisions, determine the return on a possible capital investment, evaluate the advisability of outsourcing a process, selecting the lowest cost or versus lowest price vendors, or any other use. As John Maurice Clark pointed out a century ago in his classical work, Study in the Economics of Overhead Costs, quote, if cost accounting set out, determined to discover what the cost of everything is, and convinced in advance that there is one figure which can be found which will furnish exactly the information which is desired for every possible purpose, it will necessarily fail because there is no such figure. The effective management accountant understands that there are different costs for different purposes and has the ability to view economic radiation at whatever point along its spectrum is appropriate for the use at hand. The confusing clutter of concepts circulating in the management accounting community Things like financial accounting, activity-based costing and management, lean accounting, RCA, GPK, and so forth, as a direct result of individuals viewing business from differing points along the spectrum of economic radiation and believing theirs is be the only valid point of reference. Each concept makes perfect sense when the portion of the spectrum being used is believed to be the only one and only economic truth. The fact is that the economic truth can change as decision situations change. Only by understanding the entire spectrum of economic radiation, not just the one small section of that spectrum, can management accountants provide the decision support needed for an organization to be financially successful in the 21st century. Continued reliance on economic information that is emitted from only a minuscule portion of the vast spectrum of economic radiation, regardless of which portion that is a road that leads to underachievement for those who are lucky and failure for those who are not. The profitability analytics framework provides for the incorporation of causality-based revenue, operating cost, and investment models that enable decision makers to view the entire spectrum of economic radiation when making critical business decisions. That's my point of view. What's yours? Let us know by posting your comments in the PACE website's forum, and we'd love to hear from you. You can also follow PACE on LinkedIn. Thank you, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you for listening to our PACE Moments podcast. To learn more about profitability analytics, check out the PACE website, join one of PACE's interest groups, and follow PACE on LinkedIn and Twitter. Thank you.